and welcome to Talk a Good Game, where we're going to be previewing the Sunderland versus West Ham United game. I've got with me two guests. Number one is regular, Mr. Gonzo. Hello, Gonzo.
Good evening, Redhammer. How are you?
I'm not too bad. Yourself?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate.
You excited about our debut?
Very, very excited. Can't wait. Go on, get him announced.
Well, come on then, new person. Introduce yourself.
I'm Nicky Hawkins. I'm from West Ham Fan TV. It's a pleasure to be on. Thanks for having us.
That's no bother. Thank you very much for giving up your precious time to come on. I am now hosting a host, so there's even more pressure on me tonight.
Two hosts, mate. Two hosts.
Well, I've got 1.5. You tried to do the show last time. But let's crack on. We're playing Sunderland, who are rock bottom of the Premier League, just 2 points. They've not scored in their last 3 games. However, Jermaine Defoe does start up front for them, and we all know what that happens. Gonzo, what's your view on Sunderland then?
I think they're a shambles, to be honest with you. From top to bottom, totally mismanaged. Obviously, Mike Ashley's getting all the press, isn't he, for mismanaging the club. I think Sunderland ain't far behind, and I think their transfer activity, what was it, Barini, who's crap, and Kabul, who's past it. I think they're a shambles. I think the manager's couple of fixtures away from getting the chop as well. So yeah, basically that.
Well, in a couple of fixtures' time after they play us, it's the Tyneside Derby when they play Newcastle. So this could be one of the nails in the coffin for them. Nicky, what's your view on Sunderland then?
Well, in terms of God, it's so difficult because they're down and out at the moment. They can't win a game for love nor money. So they'll probably get a 2-0 win against us. That's the way it goes. It's the West Ham way, isn't it?
Well, we hope not. Hopefully times have changed. Nicky, are you not quite confident, though, that maybe times have changed in this type of game we can be picking up points?
No, I am. I'm definitely looking at this as a win. We've had the other time we're club at our place recently, and we've played them off the park. So I think this lot are worse. So we should be looking. We've got the qualities now to be, to be sweeping these tallest teams aside. Definitely.
Yeah, I think they made a massive error in the summer. Not so much in the transfer market, but in the manager department. Dick Advocaat did not want to be there. He was happy. He had his £1 million bonus for keeping up, and he was off. So they managed to persuade him to stay, or they managed to persuade his wife to persuade him to stay, rather. And I just don't think he really cares. We see them getting beat every week now. He doesn't even look that bothered on the touchline. I quite like Dick Advocaat, actually. He's a bit like Sam Allardyce. He gets you the results. I thought they were unlucky against Spurs a couple of weeks ago, actually, when they were at home. I thought Spurs just won it by fitness, and Defoe had a couple of chances he probably should have stuck away. I don't think it's going to be straightforward, but I'm thinking we've turned that corner. Gonzo, should Dick Advocaat leave?
Well, he wanted to leave, didn't he? It's like, I think you said it, and it's not just he wanted to leave. I think if he wanted to leave to go to another club and he was still ambitious to progress in the game, and then somebody gave him a load of money and convinced him to stay, he would still be motivated. But he wanted to leave for pipe and slippers reasons, didn't he? He's probably thinking of Mauritius and yachts and all of that. He was ready to retire. He said he was going to retire. His wife was ready to retire. The suitcase was packed. And I think from that mindset of thinking, right, I'm going to take it easy. It's my time to kick back in life now, to then go to the hustle and bustle of your daily job again. I think he should have left. We all want to retire one day. I think he should have stuck by it, to be fair.
Yeah, well, I agree. Nicky, should Dick Advocaat leave? Do you think Mr. Sam Allardyce might end up over there?
I was quite worried that he'd end up there this weekend, to be quite honest with you, because that would have definitely been a loss. But yeah, the thing about Sunderland is they've got no long-term plan. It seems to have been that for a couple of seasons. They seem to be getting these quick fixes in, someone to sort of stave off the relegation, and I think that's what he was. But he's gone into the club. It's an absolute shambles there. They've got absolutely no structure there. That the players don't know what they're doing. None of them give 2 hoots about the club. To be honest with you, you can tell there's no core English core there, and local boys anymore. And yeah, he should have gone. He should have gone at the end of last season. He would have gone a hero. You know what I mean? And he might end up going a villain.
Yeah, well, even if he goes a villain, he's going to go a wealthier villain than he will a hero in the summer. Unfortunately, that's the way it is in football anymore. But while you're here, remember and subscribe to our channel. And if you go to hammerschat.com, you will find all our social media links, as well as our new prediction league, where I can confirm we have a signed prize to give away at the end of the season. Now, we're going to move on and nip these two heads about the West Ham side. Now we've done the Sunderland one, but before that, our referee for Saturday is Neil Swarbrick. Never heard of him, neither have I. He hasn't refereed that many Premier League games in all honesty. The last time he was in charge of a West Ham game was the FA Cup game where we drew 2-2 with Everton and went to penalties, and Adrian scored that winner. And the only other time we had him last season was our 2-1 home defeat to Arsenal. He is a bit card happy though, 19 yellows and 2 reds in his last 5 games, so we might see some action at the Stadium of Light. Injury-wise, Valencia is progressing and he's going to be back in training this week hopefully. Song is doing ball work, so I think that just means rolling about the pitch himself. And also Ogbonna is in his late stages of rehab and will be back training soon, so perhaps this weekend is too soon for him. Nicky, is there any changes you would like to see to this lineup compared to the one that started at Norwich?
You know what? I'd like to see Antonio given a go this week. I think he's got pace and power. You know, he's scored a ton of goals in the Championship. I don't know, but to be fair, I don't know who you would take out. So I'm saying I'd like to see him, but you know, I thought Lanzini had a decent game. He's the standout one that you'd probably see replaced if anyone. But I thought he had a decent game last week. And I don't think you should. You know, we haven't lost in. When was the last time we lost? I can't remember. 4 games, is it?
4 league games.
4 games, yeah. So I don't think you should tinker around with a team that hasn't lost. But if it was a false change, I'd like to see Antonio come in, and I think he could cause some real problems. You know, I think he could.
I think Lanzini is the obvious solution, but it's also the easiest one, isn't it? When you say who you're going to take out, everyone just seems to think Lanzini. I'm the same. I wouldn't mind seeing Antonio, but at the same time, I actually wouldn't mind seeing play Andy Carroll and Sacco up, actually out and out up front, rather than sticking one on the wing and putting one up front. And just go for it. I think the Sunderland defence are so fragile, just rip into them from the word go. I think they'll just collapse. I don't think they've got the, like Nicky was saying, they don't have the structure. They don't know. Kabul has just been all over the shop this season. I think you need to capitalise on that. Gonzo, how about yourself? Any changes for you?
Not necessarily. I mean, I think under normal circumstances, Antonio would have had that game against Leicester in the cup, but obviously he was cup tied, so he didn't. That was his chance to impress. So he's not really had it yet, but he is a speed merchant. He's trained very well, apparently. I'd keep it the same. I thought Lanzini, aside from Reed, Lanzini was probably our best player over the whole course of the 90 minutes, although Payet started to look a lot more dangerous as the game wore on. I don't think we need to put Carroll up there, to be perfectly honest with you. I think Sacco's going to pull them left, right, and centre. I don't think they're going to be able to handle Moses. Most importantly, I don't think they're going to be able to handle Payet. So I would keep it as it is until those guys come back, particularly Ogbonna, you know, and Song. Aside from that, leave as is, I think.
Yeah, I can see Lee Carter having a rough time trying to man-mark Payet of the game. I can see it. Before I move on to predictions, just to let you know, West Ham ladies are at home on the 18th of October to Tottenham Hotspur. So if you're free on the 18th of October, do bob along. It's only £5 entry, and hopefully the Irons can beat Tottenham. And hopefully we'll see a few of these at the ladies' game against Tottenham then. Time, just before we finish though, time to grab the predictions from these two. Gonzo, what's your score prediction then?
3-0. I think we're going to give them a country whooping, as they call it.
I didn't know they called it that, but fair enough.
They do in the States, mate. That's what they call it.
Okay, no problem. And Nicky, what's your score prediction for the game?
A nice solid 2-0. I'll take that.
I'm going 3 as well. I'm going to big myself up here. I said 2-2 against Norwich. I said we'd beat City 2-1, so I'm going for the 3 in a row, and hopefully I'll get it. But remember, guys, please subscribe to our channel and do share it across your social media platforms. But Gonzo, thank you very much for popping on.
Thank you.
And Nicky, thank you very much for giving up your time tonight as well.
Thanks for having us.
And we've been Hammer's Chat and talk a good game. Good night.